Hi, this is Ana Popovic, and this is the Blues Podcast.
I want to go right back to the early days with you, if that's okay, and start off talking about, because you grew up in Serbia, right? Now, I think a lot of people in the Western world won't really know what that was exactly like back in the, in the 80s, in the 70s, 80s, 90s. But I mean, how does a girl in Serbia get into blues music?
Yeah, well, that was way before, internet and all kinds of, Facebook pages. So really, we were listening to records back home. I grew up in a family where blues was really primary music, and we would listen to it every day. I had a conversation not long ago with Joe Bonamassa on his stream, and it was the same thing. We were kind of reminiscing on some of the old days and how we would watch those VHSs and just analyze the soul. And it was interesting that he also said, he asked, do you think we were better off with not having so many options?
Yeah.
And some were yes, because you only had so many tapes of so many artists. I remember we had Clapton, we had show B.B. King, we had, Stevie, a few shows, and some of the old blues stuff like Muddy Waters, and you would just sit down and analyze what they were doing over and over again, versus now, new generation, they just really they only have a span of attention of seven seconds. They kind of run through them, but then again they have so many other options to learn from. You can have guitar lessons online all day long, which was of course not even close in our time. Every time has some great things about it. But we were focused, that's for sure. We would sit down with those tapes or the records and just play through them over and over again until it's in your fingers. That's how it was growing up in Serbia. If you're asking for something else, I don't know. But to me, it was
That's
just
cool.
filled with blues and great music and rock, and we would make an evening from just looking at Allman Brothers Band show or Stevie Ray Vaughan and just sit down and watch them play, there's no way my kids would sit around waiting for that show to be over. It was wonderful. But what I said, I started playing with my first band Hush when I was 18, and we soon after that I moved to Holland to study music. But we did have about 4 shows a week every week for three years time, and that was my first introduction to being a musician. Full-time musician, making money with music. And in that situation, it was very, very welcome. So I always go and try to explain to children, not only my children, that it's really a good way of having, knowing an instrument will help you at some stage in your life. Not to mention,
Absolutely.
As a psychologically, it's going to help you with what you're doing on the side. It's always great to think music, and be busy with music.